Hello and welcome to Mates, Movies and Malts, the podcast where three best pals talk about all things movies and TV shows and any other geeky stuff we feel like bringing up on the night. How we doing, boys?
Good, mate.
Good,
I'm actually buzzing the way that went.
That was a lot
So
better than I was
happy.
expecting there.
This man is absolutely dying, and I thought he was going to come in with that with absolutely no energy. He smashed it. I'm happy just to cut here, that's us. But
Excited. That's a wrap. No, well done, man.
Thanks very much, man. Got a
So,
lot into that. I've got nothing left.
how come you're in the middle of the night then, Steve?
So I'm in the middle tonight because I have picked the topic for today. So rather than looking back on old movies and TV shows that we love, we're going to be looking forward now to James Gunn's DC universe. I'm not 100% sure what it's actually been called.
Gunniverse we've been calling it.
Gunniverse we've been calling it amongst ourselves. And we're going to pick 5 characters each that we'd like to see brought into said universe, and then just a little bit of backstory as to why we want them there, maybe what we'd like them to do, and a wee fan casting. Fantasy
casting.
Fan casting. If you can come up with someone that you think would be really good in that role. So would one of yourselves like to go first?
Yeah, man. John?
No, I'll let you go first, mate. You've had all your homework done for about 2 weeks now.
I know, man. I've been so
You've
on
been
it.
so prepared.
I've not had a lot on the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely none to do, so I think we'll let you kick it off, big man.
Well, do you know what I mean? Before we do, like, so I think all of us are big James Gunn fans. For me, Guardians was the best trilogy in the MCU, like out and out trilogy. I think it's 3 absolutely fantastic films, and I'm really excited. Although I didn't love James Gunn's Suicide Squad, I thought it was alright.
It was decent, it was entertaining.
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
I thought it was alright. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was certainly. But I don't. The thing I'm a little bit concerned about with the whole concept is they're keeping bits from the DCEU and they're discarding other bits and whatever. Do you know what I mean? So like they've kept what's his name for Cobra Kai that's in that's Blue Beetle. That Cholo Mariduena.
So as far as I understand it, that character will come up again, but that movie is not canon.
Oh, so I think it is. I think that was the first canon DC, and I believe it's the James Gunn DCU.
I heard it was not canon.
when I was trying to follow this, because it is really complicated and it seems to have changed, and James Gunn keeps addressing individual things now and again, but Peacemaker is going to be canon, but season 1 won't be.
Right.
Season 2 will be, but season 2 will follow up stuff that happened in season 1. So I don't understand how that
It just, do you know what it feels like? And I've got a lot of faith in James Gunn, but I've got very, very little faith in Warner Brothers and what they're doing with the DC properties, right? Like the DCEU, for the most part, was pretty abysmal, right? There was a couple of decent highlights in it, but you've heard me moaning about it before. The most disappointed I've ever been at anything was Batman vs Superman. You're never going to get that for the first time ever again live action, and they could not really have done it worse in my opinion. And it just feels like, so they were in such a rush to copy the MCU, they were taking shortcuts, they weren't quite getting there, and now I don't know, like just draw a line in the sand.
See, the thing is, I think because it has been a bit ropey, your expectations are already lower, so I think it can only be better than Wonder Woman 1984.
I feel like they might also be coming in at a good time, because I don't think Marvel feels great, even though they did just drop a
I feel like they're about
great.
to bounce back big, I think.
There's a good chance. Thunderbolts looks
amazing.
See, the thing is with Marvel, and it's a DC night, so we'll not talk about it too much, but even in this period where people have been saying that the MCU's been struggling, every second film's still been fantastic. We've still had Deadpool 3. Do you know what I mean? We've still had Guardians 3.
That came out on Disney the other day and I watched it.
Fucking so good. Everybody talks post Endgame. No Way Home was post Endgame. Like, there's been some absolute proper. Yes, there's been some poor stuff, but the DCEU, you go through that entire window, and there's maybe a couple of films that you would say would be even on a par with the bottom end of the MCU.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why they've not just cut. We're drawing a line. So just keep it. If you like the actor as the character, fine. Just act like the film never happened.
Yeah.
Let's just start it again. Try and forget it all and move forward. But that being said, I'm quite excited about the episode. So,
in fact, just before we actually probably get started, will we discuss some of the castings that have already happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because I'm not actually very up to date on it.
Right.
I've not really looked much because there was so much saying it was going to happen, and there's things that are saying it's not going to happen, but parts of things are going to happen, and I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to wait for the films to come out, and then we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. So, so there's a few characters, a few big name characters have been cast. Obviously, Superman, Lois Lane, they've already been taken. I'm not massively familiar with the two actors that have taken on those roles. Then you've got Aaron Pierre was the most recent one. He is going to be Jon Stewart. Obviously, he's in Rebel Ridge, which
is a big sexy
film. I've not seen that, and I don't know too much about him. But do you feel is that just them striking while the iron's hot because he's a thing going?
I wouldn't say so. I think he'd be an amazing Jon Stewart.
Think so?
I think he'll be very good. I think he would do. Jon Stewart being the military guy, I think he fits that mould really well.
The thing I'm a wee bit surprised about is that they've gone with Jon Stewart being the younger one, and I always felt Jon Stewart was the more kind of authoritarian of the kind of Green Lanterns in the comics.
And you can still get that from his background. He's a strict military background. He's always got special skills.
In my head, I always had Idris Elba. But
he's an older guy, but I think for longevity, if you go younger, you get more wiggle room for more sequels.
True.
Rather than going older.
And they obviously are going down the Jon Stewart route because they've gone older for Nathan Fillion and Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler is going to be Hal Jordan, which I thought was an interesting cast. There was some rumours going about that Josh Brolin might get the Hal Jordan thing, but then it was Kyle Chandler. I've already made the comment that as soon as he got cast, I thought, oh well, Hal Jordan dies in season 1 because I don't think he's a big name.
May as well cast Sean Bean.
But you like Kyle Chandler?
Don't get me wrong. I've not gone out my way recently to be like, I better watch the latest Kyle Chandler release. But he's always good. I mean, he was great in Wolf of Wall Street, if you remember him in that. Yeah. I liked him in Bloodline. And he'd done one of the Godzilla films over the last few years that I thought he was good in. So he's absolutely fine. Like he's a more than convincing actor. So we'll see what he's like and stuff.
The one thing I don't think was a great choice, and they might prove me wrong, and I hope they prove me wrong. It seems to be that they're going to try and make a true detective style show with the Green Lanterns, and it's going to apparently be set on Earth, which feels like a mistake because that's like the one thing you could have went to outer space with. Like all the other characters are going to be very grounded on Earth. This was the one that you could have made very different.
I bet you your Guardians.
I bet you any money though that's a conscious decision in the short term based on James Gunn not wanting to make everything feel like Guardians. So you may well see that they do like a season of that, and then because I heard him doing an interview. I think it was at whatever it was the E3. Was recently, and I caught an interview that he'd done, and apparently that's the thing that he's the most excited about, that and Superman Legacy. But so I'd imagine they will take to the skies at some point, but it might just be like because you don't just want it to come across as just the Nova Corps, do you know? So something like that. David Corenswet is Superman and it's Rachel Brosnahan, isn't it? That's Lois Lane.
I think the only thing I really remember her from was House of Cards.
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever seen him in anything.
Well, I've seen him in a couple of things. The biggest thing with Rachel Brosnahan that I've been meaning to watch for a fair while, and I think it's the thing that's really gotten her to the point where she could get cast in a film like this, is she was in The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel.
Is she Maisel?
Aye, she's the main one, and apparently it's brilliant.
Fucking amazing.
Have you watched it?
We watched Maisel.
So she's Lois Lane.
And I started watching it. She's a fucking brilliant actress.
There you go. So she's Lois Lane.
Right.
And David Corenswet, the couple of things that I've seen him in, it's not been massive parts. He was in that Hollywood. You remember one a few years ago that Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory was in?
Oh yeah. Don't know this. Is that what, the group of friends, wasn't it?
Aye, and it's set in like the 50s, I think it was.
I've never seen trailers for it. I've never watched it.
It was on Netflix.
It was good. It was really good. And he was most recently the most recent thing I saw him in was Twisters. Did you see Twisters in the summer?
I've not seen it.
So Twisters was really good, right? We've spoken before about legacy sequels, and it was really good. And he just plays a character. Excuse me. That he's just there, but he's there quite a lot.
Yeah.
he's a bit of a pain in the arse. But weirdly, and I don't know if it's because I had seen that he'd been cast as Superman, I was kind of paying attention to him and stuff, and he just stands out. So like I can't say anything about his acting or anything yet, really, because he's just got a small part in that. But my God, is he look like Superman? There was a lot of negative stuff about the suit.
Yeah,
the suit looks amazing. The suit looks brilliant. Like he's going to have the Christopher Reeve curl. I'm absolutely here for him as Superman, and I think it's a good thing that they've not gone down the route of someone too well known. But I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Other characters, you've got Guy Gardner, who's going to be in Superman, not in the Green Lantern TV show. Nathan Fillion, which you had to remind me about, which I felt terrible for because I love that guy. And I feel terrible, so I forgot the name. Hawk Girl has been cast. And
did you say Hawk Girl?
Hawk Girl. I'm blaming it on the sore throat.
Hawk 2 Girl.
Hawk Girl, and it's she's been in loads of stuff. She was in the most recent Alien movie as the pregnant lassie.
Oh yes. I didn't know she was Hawk Girl.
She's going to be Hawk Girl.
Would you like to enunciate Hawk?
I know. It's like it's Hit Girl's sister. What's her name? Because she was Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
But she's about to be.
It's a great film.
She's in something. Oh no, she's The Last of Us season 2.
She's playing Dina.
She's playing Dina.
Right,
and she was fabbing. Have you watched Romulus since the Halloween episode?
Yeah, I saw it. It's amazing.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's amazing.
I haven't got time. I'm too busy buying a house.
Your estate agent's been wild.
Too much on me.
But as you know, it's really good. But she's great in it as well. So
I wonder how well these inside jokes come across.
I know.
Watching.
You can check one of the earlier episodes for Peter's in-depth analysis on Romulus.
Yes, but I like her a lot. So that'll be quite interesting.
It's good that she's Hawk Girl.
It's annoying me that I can't remember her name though.
Brenda.
But yeah, and then there's a couple more, but it's more like side characters, but they're the big ones that I can remember off the top of my head.
Nathan Fillion. I know you love him. What's your thoughts on Nathan Fillion?
I love Nathan Fillion.
See,
I think Nathan Fillion's the best everyman.
Yeah.
I like Nathan Fillion. I don't think he's a very good actor.
Oh mate, really?
I loved him as Mal, and I think when you see him in pretty much everything,
he plays the same guy.
I think he's dead gimpy. Like I think he's one of those guys that it feels like he's always looking at the camera, and it's like wink wink nudge nudge. He's been cast because
he's Nathan Fillion.
The world wants him cast and stuff. Like because obviously for years they wanted him as the new Indiana Jones. People would want him as.
They wanted him as Drake.
Oh,
Drake.
Yeah,
that was a massive one, and obviously he's too old for this stuff.
They did that short video, the fan made thing, and he was good enough.
I don't know. I like him. I really do like him, but I don't think he's a great actor. I think he's fine. He's like Bruce Campbell.
I'm not here for his acting skills. I'm here for him.
But see if you're trying to cast him to replace Harrison Ford in something, like I don't know. I don't think he is that. I don't think he was ever the leading man, and I think there's a reason he never became it. As much as if we ever find an audience, the people that would be watching something like this,
we've just lost one. But Nathan is a huge fan of this podcast. He comments every week.
But he'll still watch because of you guys. So let's do it.
Yeah. Let's. So Pete, you can start us off then. Your first character.
So do you know I've got them in a specific order, but I'm going to go with one that I've wanted to see in live action for a long time in DCU. I want Batman Beyond live action.
Got it.
I want Terry McGinnis.
Yes.
And as an aside, I've done the fan casting route. I know you've gone a different route, which I'm excited to hear about. But I've fan cast both Terry and older Bruce Wayne.
Did you go Michael Keaton for older Bruce Wayne?
I didn't. I would have, and I thought about it for years before they did it in Flash. It's fine. They done it, and it was the most watchable bit of Flash was him being back. I loved that, right? But I was very close to Josh Brolin.
Okay.
I just kind of feel like he's just turning up in everything now. And there's talk of Thanos coming back, and he's potentially going to be old man Thanos. And I don't know. It's just getting to the point where he's turning out. He was Cable. Like I just think it's getting a little bit too much.
You went George Clooney, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I wish I thought about it. I think I've got a feeling you really like this actor, Timothy Olyphant.
Oh yes. I have a big man crush on Timothy Olyphant.
It's amazing.
Justified, Santa Clarita Diet. I fucking
I loved when he turned up in the Mandalorian.
He's brilliant in the Mandalorian. Yeah. He's got the whole Stefan Campagna type salt and pepper going on now in the old hair. So I think he's so what I'm saying about Nathan Fillion perhaps being slightly overrated by the geek community. I think that Timothy Olyphant has been wildly passed over for how good an actor he is.
He's been Justified.
I've seen the first half a season and Kirsten fell away from it, but I know I'm really...
Walton Goggins, two of my favourite actors ever in the same TV show.
Walton Goggins was close for me on this list at some point as well, but I'll touch on him in a sec. But so what's your thoughts on that? So Olyphant is an older Batman.
I really like it, but the one thing I would say though is, so I remember the Batman Beyond cartoon was an older Bruce Wayne. I was always under the impression that the comic book was an older Damian Wayne. Am I misremembering this?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. The comic book was always Terry McGinnis is the...
No, I'm talking old man Damian Wayne, so mentoring Terry McGinnis
had taken on the mantle of
Batman,
and then it was so far in the future that it had changed everything. So, and it was
I don't remember that.
I would rather keep the older Batman mentoring someone else.
The only reason I would want it to be older Damian Wayne is because it will cause problems to another thing that I've included in mine. So I would need it to
not in the Gunniverse. Not in the Gunniverse. He's got like this season of this series counts and this season doesn't count stuff. I think we can have two versions of Bruce Wayne.
Counts, the rest it doesn't.
Exactly. And that's the other thing.
If you make it a standalone, then sure. That's fine.
We were trying to remember the name. So we've got so it's the DCU. I'm sure. So it was the DCEU.
Yeah.
I think it's just now the DC Universe, and the nickname is the Gunniverse. The bit that I was trying to remember the name of last time and I thought was Legends, I think it's Elseworlds. So Joker films, Matt Reeves Batman films, anything that's happening like that, which I actually think that's a very smart decision. What they've done, they've just said, look, Robert Pattinson isn't going to turn up. It's not going to be No Way Home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's in those films, and it kind of gives them the opportunity to almost have like an MCU type universe and almost a Dark Knight type universe. Exactly. So I think that's very clever. But Olyphant Man. I love it.
I'm up for that.
The Olyphant Man.
I'm not Batman. I'm a real man. Who did you go for, Terry McGinnis?
So for Terry McGinnis, funnily enough, I actually already mentioned the show that this young guy is making his kind of name on. His name's Tanner Buchanan, and he plays Johnny Lawrence's son in Cobra Kai.
Right, okay.
Kind of the Cuttons.
Yeah.
And he was in Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland. I think he's a really good wee actor. I think he's like he's got already a hell of a lot of combat training from stuff that he's done. And I just think he'd be really, really well cast. I think he's great.
Did you have a story in mind, or was you just looking at?
I just want it launched. Do whatever you want. You see, this is the thing. Batman's been done so many times now, and it's how we recast these different characters over and over. You've got a whole universe there. It's kind of the same as like what I complain about with Star Wars, is they just keep we'll slot this in the 60-year Skywalker verse, whereas when we were talking about Skywalker Saga, when we were talking about video games, and I would say, well, KOTOR would be the perfect jumping off point to just launch it at another point with totally different characters and be unhinged from that. And I kind of feel like that's what they've done a little bit with Batman. So don't get me wrong, looking forward to the new Batman, but I think that would just be a total other world and people would love it because it's still Batman.
Fair. Did you have Beyond on your list as well?
It was like my 6th extra one. I didn't cast anyone, I just wrote fucking anyone. I just don't want to see it so much.
Anyone.
Beyond was on my list. So I'd done Beyond, like I said, I'd done Old Man Keaton, because Michael Keaton is my Batman.
Oh, I love him.
I think it would be brilliant to bring him back as Old Man Keaton. I kind of thought about the story could be based on the Court of Owls, but I love the Court of Owls stuff, and I think it'd be good to see that set in the future as well. And then for my Terry McGinnis, I went with Aidan Gallagher. He played number 5 in the Umbrella Academy for Terry McGinnis.
I've not watched it yet.
I've used him for someone else.
Have you? I think he'd be brilliant. So he was only in the Umbrella Academy, he was only like 17, so he's only in his 20s now. So he's like,
is this the because I've not watched the programme yet, which is high up on my list. Is this the young boy that he's got kind of black curtains
No, he's got short slick back hair. He is in a young person's body, but he's actually an older man.
Okay.
He can kind of time port and stuff.
Okay.
He's very good.
Brilliant. He's
Very,
a
very
great
good.
actor.
Happy with that.
I think he's the right sort of height and build for Terry McGinnis. Terry McGinnis was quite a svelte guy.
It was.
Love it.
He'd be absolutely amazing as Terry McGinnis. I'm glad Beyond.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So I think Beyond automatically gives
That
it
is
a
Yeah,
isn't it, for doing that?
Yeah, if we're going to continue the top 5 thing, then yeah, I think he'll make it on.
Steve, you want to kick on the next one?
Yeah, so I'll go with, just to kind of, I'll get away from heroes then, and I'll go on to my first villain.
Most of mine are villains.
Are they? Alright, okay. Okay, now the main reason I want him in here and the way that I want him in is to be used pretty much exactly the same way that he's used in the Justice League cartoon. If you have watched that one, he is mentally ill, kind of over the hill. You feel sorry for him all the time. There is one particular scene, it doesn't necessarily have to be shot for shot, this scene, but I actually think it would work really well for the kind of Flash that I want to see. I want to see the Flash that doesn't just
run everywhere.
Run everywhere and knock everyone out. I'd like the Flash from the Justice League cartoons that's really caring, he's funny, but he looks after people and he recognises that some villains aren't bad, some of them just need help, and the Trickster's one of those ones that just needs help. And when he gets off his meds, he falls into this alter ego and he messes stuff up, but for the most part he can be quite harmless. And I'd like him to be much older, and I would like him to be cast again by Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill has played, he's done the voice of him, and he's played him twice in live action.
Not too old?
No, that's the Trickster I want.
Okay.
I want him too old. If you haven't seen the scene, I won't describe the scene or anything like that, but try and go back and watch it. It was Flash and the Substance, I think it's called, was the name of the episode of Justice League that he's in, and it's one scene in a bar, and it's fantastic. I've used that word again. I need to stop saying fantastic. It's brilliant, and that's what I want. I want just, even if he's only ever in it once, just for that moment, just to set the type of Flash that we're getting. That's the reason I picked him, and that's it.
Fair.
I feel it.
Bang, that'd be quite good. A bit dark, a bit sinister.
Any alternative castings in mind? Anybody else that you think? Because I think the only thing I would think with Mark Hamill is, unfortunately, his voice work is unbelievable. It's good that he can turn up occasionally in bits, but I think unfortunately, as soon as you see him, he's Luke Skywalker. I think he's the ultimate typecast, and I don't know. I just think it takes you out of it a little bit.
The main reason I think he would get away with it is because he's played the Trickster twice. He's did it in the original Flash.
Not in the mass audience.
Oh, he was him in the most recent Flash TV show as well.
Yeah.
And
Which is nowhere near a mass audience.
Okay,
it's not a worldwide cinema release.
Do you know?
But the main thing is, he doesn't actually have to do much. He's not going to be like an actual. He doesn't have to do any of the physical stuff.
Yeah.
I basically need him to sit at the bar
Just
and have this
do
one
this
conversation.
There's one conversation. Fair enough.
Just to pop up.
Yeah, that's it.
Nah, that's fair.
I'm happy with that.
That's fair.
I'm happy with that.
Back to you, Pedro.
Cool. That was fast, because you went Batman Beyond as well. So is it not your turn?
It's because we're Batman Beyond.
Right. Now, unfortunately for me, there is a distinct Batman feel to this. We've got to do it. There's got to be a Joker at some point.
See, I didn't touch it.
Nah.
There's got to
leave it alone for a wee while.
I don't think like they planned in the Matt Reeves one, and we'll see. I was worried about that because with Barry Keoghan, and I actually really just think he's absolutely, or Keegan, however you say it, but I think he's absolutely amazing. I think the makeup and the
design of that Joker
didn't like it
really,
at all.
really was not clean at all.
Terrible.
The good thing is, I think that because because it was only a reflection, they'll roll back from it a little bit.
It looked like, if you've seen RoboCop, the guy at the end of it when he gets toxic waste, that's what it looked
That's
like.
exactly what it looked like, guy. But I do think if you're having the entire DCU, everybody's coming to the party, I think that it would suffer from the absence of probably the second most iconic villain in all of fiction. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the Joker. Like, I don't think you. Like, I mean, you look into all the I forget the name of it, the video games, Injustice, Superman, and everything like that. The Joker gets bolder trying to fight Batman and goes to fight Superman, and it creates some of the biggest storylines of the last maybe 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So I think if you're having the DCU, you need the DCU's Joker. And I was going to say a little bit left field, it's not anybody like really massively high profile, maybe getting a bit more high profile just now. Would you guys, if you had a thought on it, would you have anybody that you would think, do you know who I want to play the Joker? It would be this person. Who?
Willem Dafoe.
Old Joker?
Old Joker. I think Willem Dafoe needs to be.
Could that be the Joker in Batman Beyond, perhaps?
Potentially.
Yeah, if they wanted to do that storyline, that was good.
He could never be the Joker and something else that I've cast him as the Joker in.
Nice.
Not for the full film, just for a wee bit.
Well, funnily, because when I was thinking about old Joker, I was actually thinking, and I've briefly mentioned it on the last episode, Jim Carrey. I've always thought would be brilliant as the Joker. I've gone Andrew Scott, Moriarty.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sherlock.
Irish boy.
Aye, that's
He's been in
He was in Ripley just recently. That was great, by the way.
Fleabag.
Yeah.
And he also had
Sherlock as well. He
was it Oliver Strangers? Was that
I think it was
the one with him and Paul Mescal?
Yeah.
He's a fucking great actor.
He's a fantastic actor. You just need to think of his Moriarty and Sherlock.
Mm.
Just transplant that over to
Jim.
Batman.
Aye,
Yeah, that'd be fine. I would be
think-
happy with that style of Joker rather than just to
a
get
bit
just
of
something a
good
bit
to go.
Yeah.
And it would have two Irish Jokers, funnily enough.
Aye.
But I think he would be absolutely sensational. I think he's old enough to obviously be in whichever part of the universe you want to be. Because in the Matt Reeves one, he's obviously...
Like, he'd either be old, young, or young, old.
Yeah, not the Matt Reeves one. No, I meant the Joker. I can't even remember who it is that made those, the Folly of Do and stuff. But he's like 40 years older than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want him to be a credible threat, not physically, but like he's still the Joker. You want him to be like that kind of clown prince of crime and jumping about and stuff. And I think James Gunn could bring to life an absolutely fantastic Joker.
Right.
So give me Andrew Scott.
Cool. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I guess a great shout.
No
Cool.
quarrels at all.
Would never have thought of him. But
There we go.
I've got a feeling we're going to still voting away for Batman tonight, by the way.
I'm
Majority
I
are
am.
set in the Batman universe.
I am.
I am. I've got. Oh crap! No, I've got two.
Crap.
Damn it. I've got two of my remaining four.
So my next one is The Riddler. I would love
Nice.
to see a dark thriller Riddler TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Riddler who is at the end of his term, or older. He has been beaten by Batman too many times, and he literally does not have much to live for anymore. So all bets are off.
Love
Kidnaps a group of randoms in Gotham. Kind of like Saw almost.
it.
Very, very dark. I've also went for somebody older who's normally known for comedy, but I think they can play this role really well.
Okay.
John C. Reilly. Just a very unhinged, maniacal.
I'm trying to think the last time I saw him do like a proper serious role. That could be really good.
I think he would bring a lot to that role.
He's an absolutely phenomenal,
Fantastic.
He's a really good example of exactly what we were saying when we were talking about putting somebody into a genre that you've maybe not seen them do before, or they've not done in a long time, or
It's not a
something like
comfort
that.
genre.
John C. Reilly playing an unhinged psychopath, but with that comedy at 100%.
Cracking
Oh,
jokes still.
I'm feeling that,
Cracking
man.
jokes.
I think that could be
Feeling
really
But
good.
very dark.
Yeah.
Very twisted. And probably goes his way for a change.
Yeah.
You definitely said Saw style,
Aye,
didn't you?
that type
I'd
of
be
dark,
into that.
but him still cracking out with jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Love that.
I like that. I really like it. I think that'd be great. That's a great
I'm
show.
feeling that.
Do you think anybody else could potentially play that role?
Of an older kind of angry, broken down Riddler.
Do you know somebody that I think potentially could, and it would be too controversial, but it would never happen, but Johnny Depp.
Aye.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp playing that part, he's maybe even as like his comeback role or something, but you take the comedic aspect of
They'll probably never have
Captain
one,
Jack and
like
stuff.
Warner Brothers.
Johnny Depp's always been an interesting one, because if you take away all the controversy and stuff like that, he used to be at one point like one of the biggest names, like Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp level of name, right? But he was always, for me, an absolutely phenomenal actor. But he hitched his wagon so heavily to Tim Burton that it became all style over substance. And so on the rare occasions where you saw him actually acting, he was amazing.
Yeah.
but for the most part he was hidden behind so much different makeup and like
scissors.
I mean, Edward Scissorhands was good. That was when Tim Burton was good. But it's later on when he started. Every film he did,
he needed like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Like that Charlie in the Chocolate Factory was fucking
dreadful,
atrocious.
Dreadful.
Man.
Then he followed that up, and you had he'd done Dark Shadows.
I like Dark Shadows, by the way. Dark Shadows was a good film.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? You remember that film?
Yeah.
He's phenomenal in that film. Do you know what I mean? So I felt it was a shame and it's wasted potential. But if he was ever to be like PR-ified enough to be back in an A-level movie, I think he could be pretty fantastic as a Riddler in that sort of world.
Yeah.
Good
I won't put up too much time. Jeremy Irons.
Oh,
just because you said.
Because
and I borderline.
classmate, that'd be brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling that.
Right, okay, Steve, back to you, brother.
Okay. I'll do you know what, we'll get away from Batman for just like 2 minutes. So now that we're going to get a new Aquaman, I know he's not everybody's favourite. Most people find him quite boring, but he can be interesting, particularly if they use someone that's actually going to play him the way that he actually is, the way that he's been in the comics, the way he's been in like some of the like animated movies and things like that. They bring him in. If you do Arthur Curry properly, where he's not like an outcast, but the actual like king, I think you could have someone much more entertaining. Basically, DCU's version of Thor, because it would be that kind of like fish in the water type thing. And now, I really wanted the character in. I kind of struggled to think of somebody that could play him well, so I've actually stolen this from someone else that came up with it. Alexander Ludwig, he played Bjorn in Vikings. He's been in like a load of movies.
He was in Grown-Ups and stuff like that as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the most recent Bad Boys movies as well. I think he's quite good. I really liked him in Vikings.
He's a good actor. He's definitely got the size for
he's
that.
He's got the size. I think he's got the look and the heritage that would kind of like lean into it. So I think he'd be quite good. But it would have to very much be comic book accurate. Arthur Curry, Aquaman.
I think Arthur Curry has obviously been done a bit dirty over the years, like because it became a bit of a joke character, right? Like, and in the comics and in the animated shows and stuff like that, he was and is very, very powerful. The Thor example, funnily enough, because that he is like he had that whole kind of regal thing and almost been a bit pompous and a bit like kind of mightier than and holier than thou. I always thought for a long time the only thing that would worry me would be the accent, but Charlie Hunnam. I always thought Charlie Hunnam would be a good shout for Aquaman.
How tall is Charlie Hunnam? He comes across as quite short.
5'11", 6 foot, something like that.
I'd like my Aquaman to be looking down at people, like both physically and
This guy's got an Aquaman fetish.
I know. He's wanting Aquaman to look down at him.
Scales up every night. Lies in the bath.
I'd like to see
he's got to be a big.
I want him to be a big guy, and I want him to. I genuinely want him just to look down on people, and I don't want him to. I want him to stand next to Superman and be shoulder to shoulder, like at eye level. I don't want to be like looking up at him because it would just become another joke.
Yeah,
you don't want another Tom Cruise Reacher situation.
No, certainly not.
Tiny 6 foot guy.
Overhated films, by the way. The two Reacher films are decent. They just weren't Reacher. If they weren't called Reacher, they're two perfectly self-serviceable Tom Cruise films.
Good action films, don't count on the Reacher.
No, he wasn't Reacher. But even then, funnily enough, the boy that played Reacher was Aquaman in Smallville.
Yep.
There you go, we've come full circle.
So, who's next?
Back to myself, I want to see the live action Raven.
Oh yes.
Really, really keen to see live action Raven. Took the words out of my mouth. I would love to see her origin movie. The only issue would be potentially an age certificate because it's hard to have a horror film as a PG and you need to launch the character so that it can be part of the wider universe, and obviously she was Teen Titans and stuff, but certainly a real kind of Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 type horror vibe.
Chainsaw Hands.
But no, I think it'd be really, really good to bring her in. Her origin movie, bring the terror. She was tortured her whole life, like she was terrified. That was her whole thing as a hero, is literally stepping out of fear. And I think, in actual fact, I mean, we're talking about things like lanterns and stuff like that. Like there could, if they're crossing everything over, there's a lot of stuff there that could overlap. But I think bringing Raven in, and I think I've not gone based on how she looks. I've just gone based on one episode of one TV show. Like the Sadie Sink. Stranger Things, running up that hill. That episode of that TV show.
Is that the only episode you've seen?
No, I love the entire thing. But that's exactly. Just watched it because of the song.
Massive Kate Bush fan.
Wasn't he? But no, I think she's brilliant in the part. I'm really excited to see what she does as she moves forward. I think she's a far better actress than like Millie Bobby Brown and stuff. Listen, I don't care. Make Raven red haired or dye her hair. Like, she can look however she needs to look. But
Raven is quite pale.
She is. But I think she would be absolutely astonishing in that. And based on how she dealt with the terror of that whole series, but then that episode, man, that was just an astonishing episode of TV.
That was brilliant. They've actually announced, I'm fairly certain, a Teen Titans movie. However, I cannot remember if it's animated or if it's going to be live action.
Did you watch Titans? The Netflix one?
It was so good.
Oh, I tried watching it. Didn't enjoy it.
I've not watched the last season yet.
I hated what they did to Jason Todd in them. It's like the only thing that bothered me. It doesn't feel like the Jason Todd that I've always enjoyed watching. He feels very different, and I don't like what they did with it.
He probably had more of a Damien vibe than a Jason Todd vibe.
And he also feels like more of an out and out villain. And I didn't appreciate that.
His character does soften up a wee bit, and he does become more of a titan as opposed to a anti-hero vibe that he's given.
See, I disagree a little bit. I actually thought I can't remember the boy's name. I think it was Curran Walters or something like that played him. I thought he was really good. I liked him playing the part. I thought it was quite close to a comic book Jason Todd. If you remember the whole thing about Jason Todd, nobody liked him in the comics. Exactly, and it was the public vote thing. Do you remember that?
None of my issues are the way they portrayed him as Robin. All of my issues are when they made him Red Hood.
Well, yeah,
and what he did to people.
Yeah,
that's where my issues.
But Red Hood was, he did that in the comics. Red Hood was violent.
Red Hood never killed a hero and never would kill a hero.
Did he kill somebody in Titans?
So when you look at under the Red Hood, he didn't try. He tried to slow them down so that he could obviously get to the joke and stuff, but he never actually killed a hero.
Did he kill somebody in Titans?
Yes.
Aye.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
Jack
you're
Reacher?
right. Yeah, you're
Jack
right.
Reacher?
Yeah, sorry, the bomb in the chest.
Yeah.
As soon as he did that,
fair enough. I'll take that. I'll take that. But I don't think that writes him off. Funnily enough, the Red Hood's on our logo. Looks it. But copyright. But no, I thought it was quite good. The thing that I didn't love about that was what they did with Death in the Family as a story. I thought they kind of washed over it too quickly, and for me, that's one of the ultimate arcs.
Fair.
Okay.
I think it's you.
Me? We're still in the Batman world. One thing I would like to see, a character I absolutely love, is Azrael.
That's a good show.
So we've seen wee bits of Azrael here and there, mainly saw him in the Arkham City game where you had the whole side quest where Batman's talking about giving up the mantle and Azrael wants to go for it and you do all that side stuff. I think an Azrael TV show would work really, really well because you've got the Order of Saint Dumas, which is the assassin's order that he works for. So obviously you would see his origin getting trained up, becoming an elite assassin, but then breaking away because he doesn't believe in the values, and he then becomes another anti-hero in Gotham. And someone we've already spoke about tonight is who I would have cast as Azrael, and it was Aaron Pierre.
Okay, yeah.
I think he would have been a great Azrael.
I think he'd get that look just right as well. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
I just think it'd be a really fucking good TV show. It's Batman without being Batman. It's a little bit different, and he's not stuck to all these rules. He'll break the rules every once in a while if he needs to get the job done.
Would you go down the route of having his getting away from that order through Batman, and similar the way they've kind of teased it and like the games and
he was kind of someone that he's looked up to, and he wants to kind of follow that path of not killing people for money but saving people. But so it's going to be like a breaking character, and he has a realisation moment that he shouldn't actually be about killing people, and
I'd watch that.
Kind of coming of age.
I think that'd be great.
But I think he'd be a really good fit for that role as well.
Can you think of anyone else now that Aaron Pierre's going to be Jon Stewart?
No, because I don't really want to think anybody else. Not off the top of my head, because since I wrote this down, I've been kind of set on it, and I phoned James Gunn to see if he have you got anyone else you think?
No, I'm trying to think just off the top of my head. I was trying to buy myself time. I was hoping you'd have thrown a Pete.
Fuck you.
No, Aaron Pierre's just such a great shout. John Boyega.
Oh, right, okay, right. Yeah.
John Boyega.
Yeah.
Just
because
see
that.
Just because I love him. I'd like him to be in
the person that immediately popped in. He's not particularly physically imposing just now. When we spoke about Romulus a while back, I couldn't remember the name of the guy. I know, almost as much as we talk about the Three Musketeers. The boy that played the android, and it's a guy called David Johnson, right? And as I said when I was telling you about it, I honestly think I want him to win the Oscar for it. I think he's amazing. Is the android still called David, or is it a different android now? No, it's different. Did I call him David there? Did I call him David there? Because I've done that. That's David Johnson.
David Johnson. Name's David Johnson.
I realised I recently said David, and I was like, did I just get that wrong?
The android is called David.
No, his name's is Andy. You just
it's Andy. It's Andy.
And
do you know it's mental, because you talked up that performance so much before it, and I thought, like, in a fucking alien movie, like, how could it be that good? And then he actually pops up. He ends up playing essentially 3 or 4 different characters in the movie, and he's so good at all of them. I loved him.
But the thing that I think was really, really good about it, like the way they start it, you don't even expect that he is an android, and then you very quickly find out. They used it as a really, really good allegory for kind of like maybe potentially dealing with people that have got mental health conditions and stuff like that. He's phenomenal in it, and straight away, because the thing about Azrael, and I'm not as well versed on him as you are, but he's a complex fellow. Do you know what I mean? He's not a straightforward, I hate you and I'm going to kill you type person. Exactly.
It does get issues.
David Johnson, that would be my call for it, man. He's so, you need to watch Romulus, man. He's so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Next, Stefan.
My next one, and I'm going to stop avoiding. We're just going to continue with Batman. So the next one I've picked kind of because the main thing I want in this new DC universe, I don't want to take our time with introducing the Bat family. I would like them to be established already, just so we can get all of them in. So I've picked Damian Wayne. I want Damian Wayne to be the first one. If we need to like discover the Bat family through him, that's fine, but I want all of them there. I want
established.
I want Nightwing to already be there, Red Hood, Tim Drake already there.
Yeah.
If you want to include Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain, all of them, fantastic. Like the more of them that are there, the happier I'll be, because you could do loads of different things with them. Some of them maybe get a TV show. I know they're doing. I can't remember what the Batman movie they're doing is called, but I just want. I've picked Damian Wayne because I want to establish that they're all already there and they're all established. I don't want origins for each and every one of them. Just let them already be there, and we'll learn about their characters from the way they play off each other and their differences between them. And you'll get all that. And that was who I had picked Aidan Gallagher for. But I think he might have aged out slightly now, because I think he'll be in his early 20s probably. And even in that last
season. What sort of age are you looking for a Damian Wayne? About 14?
Damian Wayne was probably about 15, 16.
Yeah, 15 or 16 you'd want to be. So it'd probably have to be someone new, but the Aidan Gallagher type.
Maybe. Do you know a good way to do that? Is Death of the Family, not Death in the Family. Death of the Family story, where the Joker comes back and he picks them off one by one. Because literally everybody's there. That's a great storyline to do.
That would be great.
I said Cobra Kai there. I just want to tell you very, very quickly. So my wee brother says to my mum a wee while ago, I'm just watching Cobra Kai, and she was like, why have they made a documentary about Cobra Chai? Sorry, mum.
That's good. I like that.
Cobra Kai.
I fundamentally disagree.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You want an origin story for everybody?
Not necessarily for everybody, but what I don't want is for the Bat family to turn into Eternals. I don't want them to introduce too many characters that they don't give enough screen time to explore any sort of depth to them. If you establish everybody's character, you skip over Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, whatever they call him. You skip over Talia al Ghul and Bruce having any sort of relationship. You skip over Bruce dealing with anything to do with Damian Wayne.
Flashbacks.
Like, how many flashbacks are you going to put in one movie?
It's just for Damien. It's just his flashbacks.
Also,
But
I'm not
No Tim
pitching.
Drake origin story. No, nothing to do with Dick Grayson at any
Well,
point.
I'm also not pitching that all of this happens in the one movie. I just mean in the universe. They're
Right.
already there.
This
So
is
maybe
a TV show.
if the movie's just if it was just the one movie, Batman and Damian Wayne, and that is it. And then,
Court of Owls.
but the rest of them exist in the universe.
I would be really. I want justice for Dick Grayson in cinema.
I want the Batgirl film that came out that they're refusing to release because that fucking looked amazing.
Exactly.
It was a tax write-off in the end, wasn't it?
Who was in it? Michael Keaton was in it.
Keaton was in it. Keaton was Batman.
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, that's right. I want justice for Dick Grayson. I want Nightwing as a full story. I was absolutely certain that one of you guys would have Nightwing, and
I was going to put it on, but I thought it was.
Well, I went through Nightwing and Red Hood, and I was going to try and cast the both of them, but
Yeah.
I thought no, I'll go for something.
Funnily enough, I've gone for Jason Todd as my next one, which I'll come to in a
So
minute.
I
But
flipped a coin between Nightwing and Red Hood, and
Mhm.
Red Hood won. Which I should have went Nightwing now.
well, let's brainstorm it then. Well, the reason I'm saying it is, I say, the boy that played Nightwing in Titans was great. Right? I
I'd
really
have
loved
him
him.
back.
Potentially, but if you want to establish Nightwing, I think you need to, and you could do flashbacks to Batman and Robin. We have not had a successful cinematic Batman and Robin ever.
What should we talk about? The Batman and Robin film with George Clooney was
Well, that was amazing. That was a masterpiece, to be fair.
That was
Hang
perfect.
on.
But it wasn't successful.
The Val Kilmer one was great.
It was watchable.
You're not sending me to the cooler.
It was watchable. We have not had a successful Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
We've not.
Fair enough.
And it's Batman and Robin. So for me, you don't fast forward over Robin. He is the birth of the Bat family. He's the person that makes Bruce Wayne connect with people again to the point where he could have a Bat family. None of those characters become anything to do with that without Dick. Dick is the most important part.
Dick made the Bat family.
Exactly.
My only issue is because I've obviously thought about this. If you do the introduction of Dick Grayson and that's the timeline, you're going to want to introduce all these other characters, and a lot of these other characters from the expanded universe have relationships with individual members of the Bat family, and you lose all of those if you have to wait for the Batman movies to introduce each and every one of them along the way.
But well, who says they have to be introduced like that? Like,
It's his fantasy.
Nathan Fillion's
Batman.
Guy Gardner is going to be in Superman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, the MCU did this perfectly. They introduced characters through Hawkeye get introduced in Thor.
Yeah.
Like,
Film by film.
and you build the universe, and there's a reason why the Infinity Saga changed everything, because they did it well. Use TV shows, use flashbacks, but I don't think you can just establish it in a world where we fast forward over so many characters and all of Bruce Wayne's development and his entire life to the point where he cares about people like that again. I don't think you can skip over that.
I don't need to see broody Batman again. I want to see.
No, but it's
Batman
becoming
as
from broody Batman to actually
Having a family.
again.
No, I want to see family Batman
Yeah, I mean,
immediately.
also, if you have them all established, Bat-Dad, if you have them all established again, you're going to go past, what's the bloody name of the arc with the Joker, with Barbara Gordon.
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that in live action.
No,
Because did you watch the animated version of it? It's a hard watch.
It's a hard watch. I think
Really
it's
tough
fucking
watch.
brilliant.
It is a hard watch, but that's what made the Joker scary. Do you know what I mean? I think you're cutting out far too much
To be fair, I would watch both of these.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just fire it in Elseworlds.
Aye. I would watch both.
You tell us in the comments, guys. Do you think that you should fast forward over Nightwing and all of those guys, or
Joe,
do you think
you
would
like
you
to
would you bring
comment on the
everybody in?
videos with you, Hank, mate.
Exactly. But so I fundamentally disagree.
That's fine. We can
You
do
don't even
that.
like musicals. Thought I'd
Right,
stop
it's back
recording
to
it.
you.
Well, I mean, it's a perfect
You
link.
kept that for so long there, I thought I was his short done.
On this episode, we said let's do 5 DC characters that we want to come in. It's just turned into a Batman episode, really, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's Jason Todd / Red Hood.
Yep.
Keep it short. I want to see somebody that can play him a little bit older, and can get the depth right, and someone that can actually go through the death in the family story and come back as the Red Hood. And it's a Stranger Things theme as well. I want the Craig Montgomery. Billy. Give me Billy as Red Hood.
I also thought of him, and then I changed my mind. So I've not went probably as old as you have. I've probably went maybe just a wee bit older actually.
Right.
Like I mentioned Willem Dafoe earlier on, I want to see actual Red Hood origin story where he is beaten and tortured and tormented by the Joker, who is Willem Dafoe. I went for Taron Egerton.
We're happy to get that, aye.
As Red Hood, as Jason Todd.
I think they're probably very similar ages.
I think Taron Egerton maybe just a wee bit older.
Just a little bit.
Maybe, but I think he would bring quite a lot to that role. He's quite a diverse actor.
Who does not want to see the Green Goblin kick the life out of Elton John?
Exactly.
Aye.
Yeah.
I'd give you that one. I think Taron Egerton's a great actor as well. I think either of those, because the thing I think that's interesting about both of those guys, that they're a bit older, but they still both can play
Yeah.
a fair bit younger. I mean, Billy was 18, 19 in that series of Stranger Things. He must be in his 30s.
I think he was
early 20s.
He was in his early 20s and he was in Power Rangers, and then Stranger Things.
But I don't mean as an actor, I mean the character. So he was in his 20s playing a kind of...
Because when he's introduced, he's in high school.
He's just left high school.
Aye, which isn't always a sign of youth in American stuff, is it? We talked about Grease last week, 48-year-old teenagers, but I had to have Taron Egerton or the Cray.
I think we need Red Hood.
Yeah.
R-rated.
100%.
Fucking people up.
And that's what I'm saying. I do that. Like if you go and establish it all, you are going to miss death in the family, and I think we do. This is the thing. That Batman's dark as shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just because he doesn't use guns. He breaks faces.
Exactly.
Like, he puts people in intensive care.
So I know I would like to see the Red Hood, and I would like to see him wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Unhinged.
Are we skipping you down because you're the same one?
I could just do my last one.
If you want, go for it.
So the last one is something that's already been announced by James Gunn, and it's the Lanterns. I had an idea for how I would like to see the Lanterns. I'd like to see it as a TV show, and I'd like to see it going through the stages of all Earth's protector. So you would literally World War I, World War II, and then they choose their own successor at the end of every season. So you're getting Jon Stewart, you're getting Hal Jordan. They're all seeking each other out at the end of every season, or the end, however you want to do it. Like you maybe have a bit of crossover and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And then let's start crossing some of the Green Lantern core into it as well, and then we can then start bringing it into space and stuff.
It's like massive alien thing. Is it Kilowog or something?
Kilowog,
I like him.
The big pig thing.
It was funny.
Who was it that played Tim in the Green Lantern film again? Somebody, was it Michael Clark Duncan?
Voiced him, aye.
Was it?
Aye. So that was my idea. I know Lanterns has already been announced. There's obviously some actors already announced. I think.
I prefer this.
Nathan Fillion's got to be one that you go for. I know Aaron Pierre's already been already cast, but I think he'd be a great Jon Stewart again. That kind of
So see now that he's been cast at that, are you disappointed that he won't be Azrael if Azrael ever comes into it, or are you now more pleased because
I'm still
major part?
I'm really happy that he's just going to be in it.
Yeah.
Whether that be Jon Stewart or if they ever did an Azrael project, but they're not going to take casting tips from me. Do you know what I mean?
Well, who knows? Nathan Fillion's a big fan of this podcast.
Look what happened to Blade.
It's him, Christopher Walken and Jack Nicholson all sitting watching it.
No, I really like him. I think he's a great actor, and I'm buzzing he's going to be playing Jon Stewart. I think
nice.
he'll absolutely nail that role.
And
I do think it'll be good.
How do you feel about them going like older with Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner?
I'm absolutely fine.
Aye, Fillion
more experienced. They're going to be more tenured. It's not going to be this. I don't know how to control my powers. They're going to be rooted. And
also, when I was growing up, like my only experience with Green Lantern was in the Justice League animated show. So Jon Stewart was my Green Lantern.
He always felt like the leader because he was older.
Aye, but it's that specifically had in my head Idris Elba, like just one of those ones that you just kind of thought was eventually going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's a wise decision to move away from what happened to Green Lantern.
I think it's time to do Green Lantern justice. Like he's a credible threat. Like he is.
Oh, he's a top tier. 100%.
And it's time to do him justice.
Yeah. Love
Nice
that.
one.
That's me. I'm got abroad.
Cool.
Steve, how many have you got left?
So I've got a few that I
Oh,
just
okay.
in case.
But
But
5.
no, I know.
You need to
Well, I'm
focus
just.
on this
I'll pick and
shit.
choose
You
where I'm
said
going.
pick
with.
5. How many did you bring? This was you that said pick 5.
I had 6 just in case.
So how can you have a few left?
Sorry, because I thought of another one. I forgot about it.
It's D'Artagnan.
To be honest, I'm
Ethos.
actually. I've decided to improvise slightly because we've used too much Batman stuff.
Okay.
I just want to get like further out into the other one, and I have recently enjoyed the DC Dark animated stuff. I don't know if you've watched any of
Constantine
that.
stuff. Swap.
That's who I want. I want Constantine. I want
he's
Constantine
coming
back.
Coming back.
Is he coming back?
Yeah, apparently Keanu Reeves is doing the second one.
I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I really want it.
That's exactly what I was just wanted to be Keanu Reeves again. Not even so much just
That's
because
why
I did. I loved.
Yeah.
I thought it was coming back.
I loved the first one, and I know how much he wants to do it again. So I just wanted to have that.
I'd bring back Shia LaBeouf for it as well. He was great.
Shia LaBeouf was great.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Do you know the one thing I would say?
I know, but
I suppose. I
it's
think.
Constantine.
The one thing I would say about that is that for me it does very strongly fall into the same category as Tom Cruise Jack Reacher. Like Keanu Reeves being cast as the Constantine TV show
Yeah,
was
he's
far more
British, blonde British guy.
yeah. And so again it's a really good movie, but for me it wasn't really John Constantine. You know what I mean?
well,
Batman, Keanu.
that is a really easy fix though,
Mm.
because you bleach his hair and tell him to speak in a British accent.
Have you seen Keanu Reeves try to do a British accent
He
before?
smashes it every time.
I've seen him. I've seen him try it once, and it was cinema.
Flawless.
Cinema.
It was
Guy knows what he's doing.
pretty awful. Keanu Reeves is wonderful. I love him, but he's another one who he's not an actor. He's not an actor. He's a movie star.
Right.
He's a movie star.
Right, well, you
He
tell
can't
us-
do actor. He can't do accents.
Who would you like then?
Oh no, I still want him.
Oh, right, cool.
I loved the Constantine movie, and I'm dying for Constantine too. But I think for me that would be Elseworlds.
That's fine.
I'm
I'll take
fine
it.
with that. I
I'll
don't
take
give
it.
a fuck. I really
I
don't
just
care
want
where it fits. I
Constantine
just
to.
want it
Yeah.
back.
I want
But in
Constantine
the
to.
DCU, which is what the topic was,
So
would you
blonde-
have Keanu Reeves engaging with Batman and Superman, or would you have a different, more comic like Constantine.
blonde British?
Keanu Reeves?
No, Charlie Hunnam.
Aye.
Charlie Hunnam. Take him.
With his weird Geordie accent.
Geordie Australian accent.
Aye, exactly. The power of Christ compels you.
Suppose it is.
I would love to see a good Constantine. I would love to see it, and I thought the show was decent
Yeah,
as
the
well.
first one
Actually,
was good.
no, it was, but I mean like a successful one again that gets
Yeah.
multiple sequels and becomes
Yeah,
part of the
Franchise, its own franchise.
Aye.
Because you could then bring in, look, Raven could cross into that as well, the
Mhm.
dark verse,
Yeah.
Yeah.
dark side, all that shit.
Cool.
Right, you've
Oh,
apparently got another
thank you.
7.
No, you're next.
I've got my last one, and it's not Batman. Well, it's
Batman
related,
adjacent.
but it's actually Superman adjacent, and it's Brainiac. I'd love to see Brainiac, and for me again, it's another Brit. I'd like to see Matt Smith
Matt
Okay,
Smith is
aye.
brilliant.
as Brainiac. I think he was done dirty massively in
Morbius. He was
Morbius.
fucking amazing in Morbius. He held that film together.
I,
He held that film together.
as much as
As best he could.
it's
Aye,
held
as
together.
much as he can. But I gave up a
Everything
chance.
everything he's in, he's the best thing in it, right? And are you up to date with House of the Dragon?
No.
No, it was really good. Best thing in it.
I've seen season 1. He was the best thing in season 1.
But and for a large part of season 2, they give him very little to do. But when he's on screen, he's just one of those guys that's just. And obviously, I loved him from Doctor Who,
Yeah.
but I genuinely think he's a phenomenal actor.
Right, yeah.
Terminator, when he done Terminator Genesis,
Yeah.
best thing in it. Again, holding together a pretty poor movie. But the one that really gives me, and it's a totally weird character, but it was he did a film with Edgar Wright called Last Night in Soho.
Oh, the kind of horror one?
Aye.
It was a time jump.
Which was
That
so
was a
good,
great
by
film.
the
That was
way.
a brilliant film.
And him in that, just the edge that he had to him, for me, I'm thinking Brainiac. I think he'd been brilliant.
Aye.
Fair
I'm,
enough.
I'm all in for that.
That's happy days.
James Gunn, he's a phone.
Exactly.
He'll sort you out.
You can have that.
Yeah, we'll go with the last one.
Your last
I had two, but I'll just say one of them. So I would like Mr. Freeze to be done properly in a live action.
Has that not been cast?
Mr. Freeze.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I feel like Mr. Freeze is coming back.
Hey,
or something.
I didn't see him listed when I was looking for stuff.
Gonna need to have a wee
Feel
check.
free to look up it. I mainly want him back just because the Mr. Freeze that we've had so far wasn't anything like the one that I like. The one that's got a bit of gravitas about them. The intellectual.
The Doctor.
That's what I want. And I would like him played by Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know how he would look bald, but I really, really like him as a quiet villain that doesn't have to shout or anything. Questionable how he would look, but I don't care. I still think he'd be fantastic.
Fix that in post.
I would happily put Mads Mikkelsen in any film ever.
Yeah.
He's
phenomenal. So I'll have that all day.
Do you know who else I think would play a good Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze, whatever you want to call him? John Hamm.
Yeah, potentially.
I think he'd be a good
I considered him for older Bruce Wayne.
Great shout. He's got
when,
stature for it.
He has.
When I was looking, I think the most popular one that everyone would like to play him. Oh no, I've forgotten his name. Voldemort.
Ralph Fiennes.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm not calling him Rafe. His name's Ralph.
Listen, if he wants to be called Rafe, I'll call him Rafe.
He's an inanimate.
But we've got to call him. We've got to call him Ra's al Ghul, haven't we? So I'll give him Rafe.
Cool.
It's definitely Ralph, but
that's Ralph.
Ralph Fiennes.
That seems to be who everybody wants to play Mr. Freeze, but no, Mads Mikkelsen for me.
I think if you make him Mr. Freeze and you go anything remotely comic book accurate, he's just going to look like Voldemort.
I suppose.
Like.
Minus the nose.
Minus the nose.
Plus the nose. I think Ralph Fiennes is another one that I would happily watch in anything.
Yeah,
like
amazing.
But if I had the choice between him and Mads Mikkelsen, I'm going Mikkelsen. The thing I thought that I'd seen it, and I've not actually seen it, I've not watched The Penguin yet, but I think apparently there's hints. And that's all I'll say. I'm not going to go spoil.
Okay, because I've not seen a single episode yet, and I'm desperate to watch it. So,
funnily enough, we've not actually mentioned it so far today, but sadly the pod mother's not with us. The pod father, however, the pod stepfather is with us. And the other day I was chatting to him, and he was saying that The Penguin's amazing.
It's getting amazing reviews.
I'm desperate to watch it. I really want to see it.
I'm just going to start a new 7-day free trial, binge it and cancel it. I'm a cheap bitch.
But yeah, so I'm having Mads Mikkelsen as Mr. Freeze.
I'm absolutely having that. Quick question for you: who do you think is the biggest whiskey drinker in the DCU?
Probably Bruce Wayne, isn't it?
I mean, he'd probably make the appearance of it. He's probably got a collection that he never drinks.
Aye, like someone we know.
Funnily enough, that means I'm Batman. So that, well, listen, let's do the 10 years link again.
It does not get more 10 years.
It's about to be the most 10 years of all time. No, do you know what it was? Is I was thinking the type of whiskey in my head, and it was based on Bruce Wayne. I thought, what's the type of whiskey that Bruce Wayne might drink? And I think a lot of people might just think he'd go for the most expensive thing he could get his hands on. I don't necessarily think so. I think he would find a whiskey that he liked and he would stick with it forever.
Yeah.
And there's a particularly well loved brand in Scotch whiskey called Dalmore that you tend to find in the community. People that like Dalmore drink Dalmore. That's it. They're Dalmore drinkers. They will not touch anything else. And I kind of feel like the Dalmore 15, which is fortunately enough the only one I've got, would definitely be the one that Bruce Wayne would drink. Also, you said Damian Wayne was 15. So it's a 15-year-old whiskey.
Do you know how Bruce Wayne got his name? So Bruce is named after Robert the Bruce.
Oh.
And Wayne, I can't remember the Wayne part.
John Wayne Gacy.
It was
after. Maybe it was just Robert the Bruce's kids.
It was after John Wayne Gacy. But Bruce, it was after Robert the Bruce.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember the Wayne, but
do you know what I always...
Bastard, there's no point in me bringing that up.
Do you know what I always love? Was so you know how to do the nicknames thing? Do you know how to do the nicknames thing? Right, so you see, like, there's this New Zealand radio station on TikTok.
Oh, like the Sniper's Nightmare.
Exactly, stuff like that, right? One of them made its way onto that, right? But I am absolutely certain that Ped used to work with a guy, and this was the origin there, right? Where he worked with a guy called Wayne Bruce.
Oh, Man
Bat. They called him Man Bat.
I've heard 6 folk from Scotland who have worked with this guy. I think it's bollocks.
I know, but I don't think it is, because I'm pretty sure Ped worked with him. But I don't know if that's the first place I ever heard the Man Bat thing. But Aye, I think that's a quality bit of part of that.
That's a great bit.
You know what I mean?
Stefan,
Stefan, you are operating a motorised vehicle tonight, aren't you?
yeah, so I won't be
So
having anything.
you're not having any,
Nice.
which is a shame because I mean this is a good
We
whiskey.
love 1.5.
Oh no, raging.
Oh.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Just smell it?
Mm-hmm.
You could smell the whiskey.
Nah, I don't want to go near it with my germs.
Hey, dirty German.
I don't know why I appeared tilted that there, like I was pulling a pipe.
Force of
Gotta
habit.
make sure there's no froth up.
What's the name they kicked in?
Uh,
Smells nice, by the way.
it's good stuff, man.
Nice,
Picking this up.
quite nice.
Mm.
A little of it I can smell with my block nose.
No, I've allowed you to have a sip there so I could hear what you're thinking, but you've got it the wrong hand again, man.
Tits.
Tits. Crap.
I'm Tits McGee.
What do you thought? What your thoughts?
What do you thought?
What do you thought?
I thought it's quite a warm whiskey. I know it
I'll
sounds
give you one, man.
mental saying it's a warm whiskey, but that is quite a warm whiskey.
I absolutely know exactly what you mean. Sitting by a roaring fire,
Aye.
having a couple of Dalmors.
Yep.
And are you noticing anything different from other stuff that you've tried? Is it still just whiskey notes?
Nah, it's not as sweet as the Irish whiskey that we've had,
Mm.
which since I've now learned that Irish whiskey tends to be sweeter
Yeah.
than Scotch whiskey.
Does it smell like a sitting whiskey?
It smells and tastes like a sitting whiskey. It tastes-
You could not have sounded more like what was that cowboy's name? Anthony Wayne or something like that?
Anthony
Does it
Wayne.
smell like a sitting whiskey? I'm Batman.
it smells very woody.
I'll give you Woody, yeah.
I'll give you woody in a minute.
You'll be frothing up.
I don't really know what more you want from me, mate.
No, I mean, I'm just letting you ramble on. I'm just sitting drinking. I'm very impressed that you're starting to, like, because that was the thing right at the start. It was just, I'm just getting whiskey notes, and now you're picking bits and pieces out. So, would you like it?
I do like it. It's nice. I don't need to drink it, but well, all it in one go.
Oh, you
But it's a
might
very,
know it.
it's nice. That is a nice whiskey. I
I
still
love it.
prefer Irish because I've got a sweet tooth,
Yeah.
and I like the sweeter ones. But that is like if you bought me that in a bar.
A bit of bar.
If you bought me this in a bar, I'd be happy.
Does it smell like a sipping whiskey?
Punk.
Where's the class
Nice.
normally is?
Don't know. Apparently tonight I knew where nothing was. Like we've got different like table covers. Couldn't find a laptop at one point.
We're in Stefan's house.
It's not been a successful day, but we move on. So thank you for the perfect segue from Bruce Wayne into Dalmore 15.
Listen, no problem. It's a really nice bottle.
Aye, it's a good one, man.
Nice to see it. Wee staghead.
Right.
I like it.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Did you have one more?
Oh yeah, the only other one I had was an idea for who I'd like to play Wonder Woman, and I wanted it to be
Gal Gadot, obviously.
no,
Oh wow.
Melissa Barrera from Scream, the most recent Scream movies.
Yeah.
Love her.
Don't even know.
She was in Abigail as well. I thought she was really good in Abigail.
older sister in Scream.
I've not watched the most recent
She
Scream.
was the one who kind of has halted all filming because of comments that she made.
Yeah, we don't have to go into any of that.
No.
I
But
do.
she's a good actress.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I really like her.
It smells wild.
It's getting bonkers. I'm looking forward to drinking it. I'll give you that. I don't know who you mean, so I'll take your word
She's a
for
good
it.
actress. She's a good
Yeah,
actress.
she is a good actress. Would you have thought anyone off the top of your head?
I mean, I actually thought Gal Gadot, however you pronounce her name. I thought she was really good as Wonder Woman. I thought the first film was great, second film
I
was
thought the
atrocious.
first Wonder Woman was one of the
Really
best
good.
DC films.
Oh, 100%. I wish maybe Ares had been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But a big bit better. But no, I loved it. I loved Robin Wright turning up as what was it? Robin Wright. What was her name? That was her mum. Was it Robin Wright?
What was the original? No. Hang on.
Are you hanging about the original Wonder Woman?
Aye, no, she's in this Wonder Woman 1984,
Yeah,
isn't
she's
she?
84.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Carter.
Wanda Carter.
Wanda Carter.
Aye, that's what I was thinking of.
No, but anyway, no, I liked it. So I think Gal Gadot was
Robin
fine.
Wright wasn't her mum, she was her like,
She was the-
aunt that
yeah.
she,
She would let her do
And her mum was
Yeah,
Connie
stuff.
Nielsen
That's what it was.
from Gladiator. But aye, there's not anybody that absolutely immediately jumps out at me that I think would do. I mean, I'm thinking maybe Ana de Armas, but maybe she's too big for that role at this point in her career. I don't know.
possibly.
Um,
Looking forward to
Oh.
John Wick film.
Alexandra Daddario, which is definitely a more fun way of saying that, by the way. that was like, if you remember, what was it called? The Vicar of Dibley. Him. But so I'll give you Wonder Woman for that person that you said.
Melissa Barrera. Like her a lot.
Melissa Barrera.
Jen Ortega's big sister.
Jen Ortega's Wonder Woman.
She's too small.
Too small.
Think so?
Like height.
Yeah.
Anna de Armas isn't particularly tall, is she?
No, she's not.
Jen Ortega's like 5'6" or something like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so my pick then is Alexander Daddario.
Fair enough, mate.
Cool.
Cool. Yourself, anyone?
Nah.
Cool.
Gal Gadot.
Did you have anything else you wanted to chat about on the old DCU front? Anything else that we're excited about? What are you most excited about in the DCU that's coming?
Just the new stuff. Do you know what I'm actually really looking forward to? Swamp Thing. I really like the pilot episode of Swamp Thing. I think Swamp Thing got fucked over really, really quickly. I think that had potential to be a really good show, so I'm quite glad that James Gunn's bringing that back. I'm really looking forward to that.
Did you watch the Doom Patrol one?
Yes.
Was that good?
I didn't like Doom Patrol, so this was a crossover from Titans.
They
brought Doom Patrol into it. It wasn't really for me.
Nah, fair enough.
I'm here for give me some Swamp Thing.
Fair enough. I'm really looking forward to Peacemaker season 2. Peacemaker season 2. Season 2. I loved season 1. I thought it was great. Felt really different. John Cena's brilliant. He's so good at everything, because I thought he was going to be one of those ones he's only ever going to be good at the comedy stuff, and he is very funny in this, but there's some really dark tones and he nails them. He gets the emotional stuff as well really good.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything.
Have you not?
John Cena?
Was
that too far?
I'm delighted with that. That's a twofer.
On that bombshell.
I only watched the first 10 minutes of Peacemaker and turned it off.
Really? I like it.
Man, it
is good. You need to start.
I have heard that, so I will give it another try. I'll watch it when you watch Romulus and you watch Breaking Bad.
It gets brilliant, and I'm just really looking forward to the new season, just with the new established relationships between all the characters. I think it could be really good.
Nice.
My voice is getting worse the longer this goes.
That's alright, we've got nothing else to record.
Magic.
Excellent. Well, you want to wrap up the episode then, Steve?
Just before we go, I just want to say happy birthday to my daughter Violet. She was 4 this week.
Happy birthday, Violet. I'll get your card to you. I forgot it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Excellent.
Right, okay, so with that we'll end this episode. Thank you very much for watching, if you did indeed watch.
That's not the end of the news, is it?
I'm really sorry, mate. I've never tried this before.
That was the news today.
Straight up the papers.
Trevor McDonald. But thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks very much.
Catch us in all the
usual.
See
you next time.
Bye.
Bye.